Here is our agenda for today. Sorry. I know it's kind of if I ask you, I'll do a different another recording. Okay. So our agenda for today is to go over some announcements for the week. Essential question. We're going to do a lot of practice today with pronouns, okay, and our vocabulary group. Okay, announcements. Make sure that you do more places like this one. You have to check out the calendar for the month of February to keep you on track. I do have all February posted. And you want to read all lessons live and complete the bookwork prior to taking any quizzes. Sorry, okay, so the next slide should be your calendar. Okay, so you have 2 weeks to work on grammar and vocabulary. So actually, so yesterday was the last day for you to work on the unit grammar test that you can still complete it today. We're going to work on that today as well. There is a school Friday and Monday. So on Tuesday, we're going to get started with our new unit, and that is a research paper. Had a good question, which was, can gave you a practice sheet. So the first one is this example I provided. I made some tea for you. Okay. So we want to find out what the subject is. That's the S, the V, the verb, EO, direct object, and IO, indirect object. Okay. So in this case, the subject is going to be I. Okay. Then you have made as a verb. Your direct object is the T. Okay. Remember, it's usually the thing, and the indirect object is you, a person. So these are the questions that I went over last time. Okay. So what did I make? That's your direct object. What did you make? What did you make? T. And who did I make it for? You. So that's how you can figure out which one's direct object, which one's indirect object. So direct object for what, and the indirect object for who. Remember, the what is going to be more of a thing, and the who is a person you are getting it to. Okay. So I want you guys to try a word. So this is what I just explained right now. So you have a subject, a verb, direct object, indirect object. Okay. I want you guys to try. What is this? Okay, that's a lot of questions. Okay, if you have a question, please make sure to be patient and write it down. I will get to it. Okay. I have answers from students here as well. Okay, so I have an example. I made some keys for you. Okay, so we have to rewrite the sentence. Okay, and we can switch off the indirect object. And the direct object is going to look like that. I made you some keys. Okay, so you can always switch it off in here. Okay, I want you to try this one on your own. So you have it on your practice sheet. So it just seems to be slow. So if you're having issues here with illuminating, you can't hear me, it seems like you are. I will provide another recording. Okay, so you can just it's on. Okay, so we're going to do an example. You bought a book for her. Okay. So let's take a look and see. If we were to change the order, he bought her a book. Is that what you guys had? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so you can switch the order. If you know how to manipulate a sentence and change the order, and you know minimum your subject, your verb, direct object, indirect object, you can work with that and you will understand grammar a little bit better. So let's try this one now. They sent an email to me. Figure out which one's the subject, which one's the verb, then figure out the direct object and indirect object. Direct object is usually going to be the thing, okay? Indirect object is the person. And then you want to challenge yourself and then switch the direct object and indirect object, okay? Okay, again, if you are still here with me in our Illuminate session and you're having issues hearing, you can log out. I will have a recording, a clean recording for you after I'm done with my 2 classes today, okay? So I'm still going to try my best to come back here and reiterate what I said to the class. Okay, so I'm not sure if it was just at the beginning and it's now getting better. Okay. Let's check. Okay, so we have the subject is what? They, the verb, direct object, and indirect object. Oh, I shouldn't have shown you this. Okay, so we're switching them off now, the email and to me. So it would be they sent me an email. Okay, so you're switching it off. So you guys should have this one written down as your next one. So make sure you have these notes. You can be your notes and you can turn into your own teacher as well. I would just make a copy of them so you can have your own copy for your quizzes and stuff. Okay. Let's see. Now I want us to go over who and or whom. Okay, we were having issues with that one last time, and I saw on your quizzes you're having issues with some of the pronouns too. So this one was a big one. Okay, so can I just use who or whom and then they're interchangeable? Are they interchangeable? Can I use one for the other? No. Okay. They're going to both take the place of a noun, but they are different types of pronouns. Okay? So the first one, who, is a subject pronoun. So the performer of the action. And whom is an object pronoun. Okay? Or the receiver of the action. And this is probably going to be like, because you're not going to understand it. So this is a grammar definition. This is going to help you a lot better, I think. So you have your 2 rows. You have your subject and your object. Okay, these are the subject pronouns, and then these are your object pronouns. So we have again, okay, here's your subject. If we have threw the ball, I threw the ball, you threw the ball, he threw the ball, she threw the ball, it threw the ball. So all of these can go with this first sentence. That would be the subject, whoever is doing the action, okay? Object is whoever's receiving the action. Miss A threw the ball to me, to you, to him, to her, to it, to us, to them, to whom. Okay? So that should help you out a little bit better. So this is the subject, and this is the object. So you have to understand that first. Okay. So here is your quick tip. Am I going too fast? Yeah? Okay. So let me just let you guys copy that down if you want to write that. subject and the object, okay? So again, we have I, you, he, she, it, we, they, who, and your object, me, you, him, her, it, us, them, whom. And then you have your pronoun case right here as well. Okay, so you might really not need to write everything down. But here's your subject. You would use the pronouns for your subject. And for your object, you would use the what's listed here as well. Okay?
I have a question.
Yes.
For the going home, I learned how to pick up the internet that if you want to use who, you can replace the sentence with he, and him with who.
It does work. Okay. So, that's what we're going to do right now. Okay. We have whom picked up the ball. Okay, so which one are we going to use? Which one do you think we're going to use? We should use for this one. Who? Okay, do we agree with that? Who picked up the ball? Okay, so that would be correct, but you have that trick, okay? You can replace it with one of the subject pronouns and then the object pronoun, okay? So who would be he, and she, whatever you want to use, okay? With the first one. Who is the same thing as you can use he to replace it, to check yourself. And then whom is on this side right here, and you can use that with him. See if it makes sense. Okay? So you can check yourself like that. So who is the same thing as he as a subject, and whom is the same thing as him as an object. So you could either say he picked up the ball, or him picked up the ball. That should be a question mark right there. He picked up the ball. Him picked up the ball. Which one makes more sense, he or him? He picked up the ball. So since he is equivalent to who, we're going to use who as our correct response. Does that make sense? Okay, let's try it again. Okay, Joe picks up the ball from, okay, what's going to be the correct one in this case? And you have that on your practice sheet as well, so try that one. Joe picks up the ball from, so replace he and him. Which one makes more sense? So you should be at number 2. Joe picks up the ball from, would it be from he or from him? Yes, so it would be who. Yes. You want to kind of check yourself if you are going to be using. So look at you that. Okay, good. Okay, so I would say Joe picks up the ball from him. The second one would be correct. So since him is equivalent to whom, that's going to be my correct response here. Okay, so Joe picks up the ball from him would be the better choice. And that's our correct answer. Joe picks up the ball from whom? Okay, so that's just a quick tip for you guys to remember when to use who or whom. One is for subjects, and then the other one's for an object pronoun. Okay, and then you have your pronoun case. You have 3 of them. Okay, and you see how they change. Right now we're going over the nominative case and the objective case. We're really focusing on those 2 since those are the ones you're having issues with. You see how they change. I, me, my, and mine. You, your, and yours. The possessive case is when we're trying to show ownership or possession, of course. So these are our singular pronouns in the different cases. And then we have our plural pronouns in the 3 cases as well. Okay, I just wanted you guys to see how one changes from one case to the other. Okay. Okay, we went over ellipticals last time as well. We kind of went over it real fast. So we're going to have a couple questions to do as practice. Okay, that's a language shortcut. Okay, so some words are omitted but are understood as being there. And then you want to complete the sentence. You want to kind of restructure the sentence so it makes sense. So here's one sentence. Lisa takes more classes than I do. Our elliptical would be Lisa takes more classes than I. Okay, it wasn't, they didn't finish the entire sentence, but it's still grammatically correct. Okay, so I want you guys to try number one. Try doing that one on your own. Okay. Where is it? Okay, try number one with the pronoun case. Okay, believe it or not, Mr. Archer told us the whole history of the washing machine. So us would be which one of these four? Okay, let's work on number one. Oh, I made it. Yeah. I made it as a problem in the PowerPoint so you guys don't have to write all these things. Okay, so you went here with us, but we just went over these kinds of programs. So try to think of what we just went over and say that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm so bad.
Okay, so let's take a look and see. If you answered indirect object, that is correct. We just went over direct and indirect objects. Okay? So you can reorganize the sentence. Mr. Archer told the whole history of the washing machine to us, believe it or not. So we know the subject is Mr. Archer, the verb is told, direct object is who or what is receiving the action of the verb, history, and the indirect object, who, right? Who is going to be receiving the direct object? It's us. So this is kind of going back to what we discussed with direct and indirect objects. Okay, so number two, try this one as an elliptical. Okay, so restructuring the sentence for that one. You have that as in your practice sheet as well. There's two different ways you can restructure the sentence, maybe more you can think of. What do you think? What do you guys think number two is? There's one more to get sent. And she sold. You want to finish it? Yeah. So or you can say it, Sam sold more tickets than I. Does that make sense? No. She sold more tickets than I. Yeah. Probably. Them sold more tickets than I. Me sold more tickets than I. Wow. No. Okay. So you can change the sentence, restructure it. Okay, let's see. I think you guys are going to be experts at pronouns. I sold more tickets than she sold, or than she did, or she sold more tickets than I. Okay, you can restructure the sentence to see if it makes sense. Okay, so that's our elliptical one. So pronouns and antecedents. Okay. They have to agree a number with its antecedent, a word or pronoun that it's referring to. Okay, you should have gone over this. You can write it down right now if you want, but you should have a list of your singular ones and your plural pronouns that you're going to use. So each, either, neither, anything with one or body, anyone, Anybody? Okay, so these are always going to be singular. Anybody can wash his own car. We went over this last time. Everybody loves Raymond. No one drives with two hands. So these are all singular. Okay? These are all plural. Always plural. Both, few, many, and several. Okay? Many of my neighbors wash their own cars. Several people love Raymond. Few of my friends have met my son. Both of my parents are ready to retire. So I want you guys to remember these four will always be plural. Okay? So I want you to try 3 and 4 on your practice sheet on your own. Okay, which one are you going to use, the singular or the plural? So try 3 and 4. Neither, either, anyone, anybody, all of those are singular. Okay. More than one, yes. What about this one? This one it says singular, so this one's a singular form. We have neither, anyone, anybody, all those are singular. This one, remember, goes with the singular form. Okay, so you have either, neither, anybody, anyone, all those are forms. Or singular program here. You're both girls. Neither Carol nor Shanae can get to share. So you see this, of course, either, anybody, anyone, you have to use the singular, even though it occurs down here. When we speak, we really don't use that form, but this is the grammatically correct. Okay, so let's see number 3. We have both tall tales and fables can base their, okay, we're talking about more than one. So that is correct. What about number 4? Okay, which one's grammatically correct? We went over the list of the pronouns that are always plural, the ones that are always singular. Neither Carol nor Ellen would hesitate to share. We're using neither. Her. Yes. Neither, either, anybody, anyone, those are always going to be singular. Okay? So that one is going to be her. Neither Carol nor Ellen would hesitate to share her supplies with you. So this is grammatically correct when we talk and when we speak everyday language with other people. Most of us use there. Okay? But this is grammatically correct. It's the her. Singular form. Okay, so here's the vocabulary from classical roots. You are given a list from this book right here. Right here, okay? You guys have it, right? Page 61 to 75, you're focusing on these roots, okay? And then you're also focusing on different vocabulary that goes along with the roots. So what I did right now is I just wrote down the list of the ones that you are responsible for knowing. So these, if you're practicing with your sentences, with memorization flashcards, okay, also with the new vocabulary that you're learning, it should be easier for you to determine the meaning of each of the vocabulary words you are given. Okay, so this is your list for the classical roots. You can find this from pages 61 to 75. Okay? So you have 2, 3, 4. So you have 9 of them right here listed. Yeah, 61 to 75. So basically you start off with a couple of these, and then they give you some examples, some vocabulary that correlates with these roots. Okay, so I will take any questions after this that relates to the vocabulary and pronouns. Let me see. So it seems like students can hear me better now. The unit test, I had a good question. Is the unit test on both vocabulary and grammar? It's just going to be on grammar. You had mini quizzes on vocabulary, but you're not going to have a unit test on your vocabulary. We're focusing only on grammar. Okay, that's a big part. So you have your quizzes for vocab. If you have any questions on vocab, please let me know. Okay. So I want you to, at home, to take this practice quiz, take a look at your results. You can either go to this link, that one's too long, or you can go to this tiny URL. The students who are here in person, we're going to take the practice quiz together. Okay? So make sure you respond to the essential question as well. And I'm going to leave this up, the pronoun practice. And that's going to be the end of this recording. Thank you again. Hello, Spanish 1 students. Today we're going to go over units 19 through 21. Okay. This is the agenda for today. We're going to go over our calendar for the week, our essential questions, and we're going to review units 19 to 21. Okay, if you have any questions, can you please make sure to write them down in the room so that we can all see them. Okay, here's our calendar for week 5. We have no school 213 and 216. So we're trying to work on unit 21, trying to finish that one up. So for this week, it didn't make sense for us to start with unit 22. Okay, we're just going to do practice from unit 19 to 21 to review. And you will finish that off next week. So you'll start off unit 22 till next week. Here's the essential questions. So I'll have to give you guys some time to write that down. What are some resources that can be helpful in continuing to practice your Spanish language development? Okay, so write that down. Are you in a class? Okay, then you need to go to the DSC, or you can work over here. Too much talking. Thank you. Okay, again, the question, what are some resources that can be helpful in continuing to practice your Spanish language development? So write that down. You need to have notes for your homework. If you're interested in it, you can finish your homework. So some of the resources that I'm talking about could be maybe watching videos or movies or watching TV in Spanish. Those are some resources that can help you to develop your language skills. Maybe there's some Spanish apps that can help you as well. Okay, there's Duolingo. There's also some YouTube channels that can help you with learning a different language. Some of you might be lucky enough to know people that can help you to practice your Spanish. They actually speak Spanish. So you could use them as resources, okay, to help you practice with your language development. So that's kind of what I'm asking for. So what are some resources that you can use to help you with your language development? Okay, are we good to go to the next one?
Yes.
Okay, let's move. So for grammar, you went over ordinal numbers, saber, conocer, and pedir, preguntar, and then lastly, we're working on comparisons. Okay? So here are our ordinal numbers. We have primero, segundo, tercero, cuarto, quinto, sexto, séptimo, octavo, noveno, décimo. So these are ordinal numbers, what we're talking about. This is part of vocabulary as well, with grammar, because you have to remember these rules, okay? They have to agree with gender and number. So even though it says right here, fifth is quinto, okay, the fifth daughter, since we're talking about female, okay, right here, we're going to use la, then quinta, instead of quinto. And then hija is daughter, okay? If it were the sixth son, what would this be right here? El quinto hijo. Good. There we go. We got it. Okay? So again, it has to agree in number and gender. You can't use quinto for everything. Okay? You have to either change it if it's masculine or feminine or more than one. Okay, next one. This one's a little bit tougher. When you have primero and tercero, and they come before a singular masculine noun, like this one is el libro, this is singular masculine, you're going to have to drop the O. Okay? So it's going to be el primer libro. That's another rule. So these are your two rules that you have with ordinal numbers we need to remember. Agree with gender and number, and if you're dealing with primero and tercero, first and third, and you have a masculine noun, you have to take off that O.
That's the only time it doesn't work.
Yeah. So we wouldn't say el primero libro. That would be wrong. The reason is because of this rule. We're taking it off because that's a singular masculine. Okay, so let's practice. Number one. Soy el. What is correct? A, B, C, or D? D. Let's see. Some of you are saying C, some of you are saying D. What's the rule?
I'm sorry, B.
What is the rule? Well, we just went over two rules. Has to match masculine and it has to match with gender and number. And then the second rule, if it's primero or if it's tercero, and the next word is singular masculine, you're going to cut off the what?
Oh.
The O. So what is the correct one here? ¿Soy el primer hijo o soy el primero hijo? Okay, let's see. That one, oh, I don't have it. Okay. It should be primer. Okay, let's look at that one right here. Not primero libro, right? So it would be primer. Soy el primer hijo. Okay, let's do number two. Okay, this one's pretty easy if you know your order. Quinto. A, B, C, o D. What do we have for here? What do you guys think? Sexto. Correcto. Okay? And you're going to see these types of questions and some of these exact questions on the midterm exam. So we're doing some practice. Yes. Oh. Okay, he's answering. Oh. Okay, number 3, choose the sentence that is grammatically correct. Soy el primero hijo, soy el primera hijo, soy el primero hijo, soy el primer hijo. Which one's correct? Yeah, that's correct. Good.
So, do we know it's not correct because it's a masculine singular, so you drop the O? How do we know A and B aren't correct?
Good question. So the first one is incorrect because it's talking only about one, right? So when it says primero, so it's plural, that one's wrong. And then we're talking about a boy here, or masculine, right? So you wouldn't say primera, it's not a girl. They don't match.
For A to be correct, it has to be yo. Is that it?
Ellos. Ellos.
Okay, listen it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. It would be los. Los, more than one.
Instead of L.
So it's el o los, and I was saying ellos. Ellos goes with I'm sorry, ellos o él. Okay. So in this case, it's los. Okay. Then we have saber en conocer, en pedir, preguntar. Saber is when you know something. Conocer is when you know someone or a place. Okay, you're familiar with someone or a place. Then pedir and preguntar. Pedir is to ask for something. And preguntar is when you're asking a question, like a specific question. Okay, so you guys should know this. This is review. I hope. Okay, so these are some of the questions you're going to see. So choose the best Spanish equivalent for the phrase. I am asking for red shoes. Is it pregunto unos zapatos rojos o pido unos zapatos rojos? I think it's pido, okay. Pido comes from the verb pedir. Pregunto comes from the verb preguntar. So preguntar was to ask what? What's the difference between preguntar and pedir?
Did you ask for a request? Because we ask for a favor question.
Yes, so you're asking for an actual question with pedir. So let's take a, we have here, you're asking for red shoes. Is it more of a request or more of a question? Request. Okay, so you would be, B would be correct. Pido comes from pedir. Okay, our next one. ¿Sabes dónde está la tienda nueva? No, no sabo dónde está. Sí, yo la sabo. No, yo no sé. Okay, so this is, where is it? What would be our correct response here? C. Yes. Yes. No, yo no sé. Okay, saber, okay, is more of a question, right? Factual information. Okay, ella conoce Isabela. Correct or incorrect? Correct. So what were the two? Conocer and what? What are the two words that are very similar? Conocer and? Saber. So it would be either ella conoce Isabela, ella sabe Isabela. And you guys are saying that's correct. Yes, that is correct. You're going to use conocer when you know a person or a place. You're familiar with them. Good?
Yeah, will there be questions on the test where you know it's conocer is a person, but the pronoun in front of it is not correct? There'll be questions like that, right? You have to pay attention to the pronoun.
Yeah, you do.
You can say yo and then do conocer, but that's not correct.
The conjugation has to be correct. Yes. Yes. So you want to double check the conjugation, but a lot of these are going to be either correct or incorrect, or they're going to be more simple form. But yes. Okay, and then we went over comparison. And we're going to use this one when we're talking about when something is better or worse, right? Más mejor que tú. Okay? Menos peor que. Okay? So you want to add the más or the menos, the adjective, adverb, and then the que. That means more or less than. Then this pattern right here is when you're referring to things being equal, the same. Tengo tantos zapatos como mi mamá. O tengo tantos zapatos como mi hermana. Okay? So this one would be as much or as many as. This is review again. Yeah. So you should have this written in your notes from last week. We went over. Oh no. Yes, you need your rules. You need to write them down. Okay, so we have, again, it's either más or menos, and whatever you're using as your description or your comparison, and then your que. The next one is tan, same thing, but you're using como. More than one, tantos, tantas, and como.
Okay.
Okay, let's try this one. So this deals with comparison. Cocinar me gusta tanto. Como, yes, because you're talking about something being equal to something else. Como limpiar. So I like cooking as much as I like cleaning. Not sure, but that's an example here. Okay, our next one. Tengo amigas como amigos. So yeah, we want to agree with gender and number. What is it? Tantas. Yes, it's more than one. Tengo tantas amigas como amigos. And if you choose C, you just missed the entire rule right there. Okay, you're either using your tan or tantos. You're agreeing with gender and number, and then with como. Number 3, quiero más a mi tía. This is inequality, so I'm saying I love my, what's a tía? Me. Okay, yeah, I love my tía more than I love my uncle. It's true most of the people. Okay. So, quiero más a mi tía que a mi tío. That's correct. So, más. Quiero más a mi tía que a mi tío. So, it would be que, the next one. So, más and que. Okay, vocabulary. So, unit 19 was on profession, 20 closing, and 21 was at home. So, you're in charge of knowing all the vocabulary so far. Okay, so you should have your list with you. Okay, let's practice. We're going to do 5 of these practice with our vocabulary. Hoy yo llevo mi suéter viejo. What's viejo? Viejo? Old. Okay. ¿Dónde comes? This comes from the at home vocabulary. What's comes? Comes from the verb comer. What's comer? What's comer? To eat. Okay, so where would you eat? I hope not be. That would be pretty gross. So Where, like, in, okay, I know that it can happen in different places, hopefully not these, because that's gross, but where would people normally sit down and eat? En el dormitorio, el comedor, la sala o el baño.
Dining room. Sorry, B.
Comedor, yes. Ah! Okay. Next one. No puedo to iron ahora. What's to iron? Planchar. No puedo planchar. Yes. What's secar? To dry. Limpiar. Limpiar. To clean and lavar. Lavar, the last one. Lavar la ropa. To wash. We need to review these ones. Oh, okay. This has to do with profession. Okay, pay attention to some of these keywords. Quien corre, salta, y va a Olimpiadas. Olimpiadas is the cognate. Looks very similar to the English word. What's Olimpiadas? Something with the Olympics. Okay. So, who does this? Corre, salta, y va a Olimpiadas. Yes. What's this? Un atleta? An athlete. What's an hombre de negocios? Arquitecto. Y científico. Yep. Yeah. A lot of the professions that they gave us, they're cognate, so they're very easy to remember. Okay, number 5, our last one here. ¿Quién cuida a los enfermos en un hospital? Hospital, same thing as hospital. Enfermera. A nurse. What's an artista? An artist, yeah. Abogado. Lawyer. And mecánico. Looks very similar to the, yeah, mechanic. That's a good career. Enfermera. All right. What's next? We are going to remember to submit your essential question if you're joining me through Illuminate or if you're watching the recording. And you're going to see this actually not on, it should say Tuesday, next week, 2/17. Okay? Tuesday, 2/17, you can submit it for credit in Middlebury. Okay, here's your question. Make sure you respond to that. And any questions I'll take right now. Okay, thank you again for joining me.